I've been friends with, let's just call her A, for about 11 years. 3 years ago she was involved in a car accident which left her wheelchair bound. I'm 16 now, and I've been her best friend since I was 5. Her crash was a rough time for me personally as well, of course not as rough as hers, since my friend was in a car crash and I just lost my dog. But I put her in front of losing my dog, even though 13-year-old me was wrecked, and tried my best to be her rock while she was in tough times. After she got better, we hung out and was the same as before. Just as time went on, I felt like the power balance wasn't equal anymore. I was always taking care of her, and everything had to go her way. To an extent, I was okay with this since I couldn't fathom going through what she was going through, so I kept my mouth shut and was there for her. Every phone call, every text, every "can you do this for me" I did it. But at one point, I found that I held some resentment toward her, and this grew as everyone around me just expected me to take care of her. I couldn't do certain things because it reminded her of when she could walk, and I couldn't hang out with other people cause she felt like she was losing me. I had to get up whenever she wanted to get something, pick up whatever food she ordered, tie her shoelaces, carry her bags around, walk her dog, take her things to class, and so on. Whenever I complained or tried to vent, I was always hit with the "but imagine what she's going through, poor thing." And so, the resentment grew and grew. This blew up yesterday. Yesterday, we were at the mall picking things out, even though because of my asthma, I really didn't want to go out, and she got caught with some unpaid clothes in her bag. She just blamed me in front of everyone in the store, and only when the security camera showed her putting something in her bag, she admitted to lying. I was furious, and after I called a car for her, told her to stay away from me and find someone else to take care of you, since I'm not your mom, and left her in the surprisingly well-lit parking lot. Her mother, who was absent through a lot of this time due to God knows what, phoned my mother, saying I broke her daughter's heart and abandoned her in a parking lot, and everyone, except for my dad, is telling me that I crossed a line and put her in danger, and to put myself in her shoes. Everyone is telling me that I'm not a true friend and that I'm selfish. It's kind of getting in my head, and I don't know if I'm as right as I thought I was. Sorry about how long this is, this was about 2.5 years worth of venting, but am I the idiot? Not the idiot. Apart from the justifiable resentment, she committed a crime and tried to blame it on you. That has nothing to do with her being disabled and everything to do with her having no morals and no regard for you. And you can't do this because I can't, and you can't have other friends because me is so selfish and manipulative. This person is not a friend. Not the idiot. Someone here is not a true friend and it isn't you. She has taken advantage of you and topped it off by trying to blame you for her own crime. This person is not someone you need in your life. Not the idiot. You both sound like you could benefit from some therapy. She probably feels like she has no control over her own life, so she is trying to control you. You are unable to maintain a healthy relationship due to age and inexperience. But the reason for the judgment is framing someone for a crime that could lead to serious long-term repercussions is very much a conscious decision that catapults it straight into the territory of idiots. Update. Dog thing? Yeah, my resentment kind of started with my dog being forgotten. While it is nothing to what she went through, I really liked the dog and I had to bury him myself, which started my unjustified and immature resentment. I was mad no one even talked about the dog, totally petty, but honestly, that started it. I never really resolved my resentment, which is my bad because, in the place I live, it's horrible for people with disabilities. As I accompanied her in her life, it gave me some insight into how hard life was for people who couldn't walk, and so my resentment would be suppressed with this feeling of gratefulness for my ableness. I left her at the exit of the parking lot, and there were glass doors to the outside. She had her phone which she could use to call her mother, don't know if she did though, and there was security in yelling reach. She could move around, still, it wasn't great leaving her like that, it wasn't cool, and I could have hurt her. Also, for those wondering, the car was the car we took to get to the mall, so we knew the driver and it fit her wheelchair. What I did? I told my parents the full story. My mother was fuming when she called A's parents, and they said they would talk to her. I also called everyone who was against me, so I could tell them the full story without having to be mean and unnecessarily public. Most of them quickly gave me the not the idiot option. I called her too and told her leaving her in the parking lot was wrong, but I wouldn't apologize for it, as I could not forgive her for what she did. I told her to take care of herself from now on, and that I wouldn't be her friend anymore. My dad got me a new dog, and my parents hosted a real burial for my last dog, but it helped me a lot. My dad told me he was proud of me for doing what I did and told me about boundaries and how important they were. In all honesty, I'm sort of glad this happened so I wouldn't have been with her longer. I learned a lot about boundaries, toxic friendships, and how to talk about my emotions. Thank you, guys, for being so supportive. I really didn't expect this many people reading this, but thank you. I'm not friends with her anymore, but I've got my dog, so it's fine. My husband, 30M, and I, 27F, have been together for 3 years and married for 5 months. Our relationship has been without any problems until the week before our wedding. My husband was very close friends with a woman, let's call her Ava, whom he has known since they were sophomores in high school. I never had a problem with Ava. I thought it was very obvious that she and my husband are just friends. I mean, she had a long-term boyfriend and all. So, I felt no jealousy or anything. I actually got along with Ava pretty well. We all hung out together regularly. But then my husband dropped a bombshell on me the week before we got married. I remember he sat me down and told me that Ava revealed to him that she has feelings for him and tried to convince him to not get married to me. She even broke up with her boyfriend of 6 years to prove that she was serious about my husband. My husband and I both agreed to cut her off. We uninvited her to our wedding, and neither one of us has been in contact with her since. It was my husband's 30th birthday yesterday. He just wanted to have dinner with family and friends, so that's what we did. So, we are all in a restaurant eating when all of a sudden Ava walks in. She walks to our table and says she didn't mean to intrude, that she was just getting dinner by herself, and then saw us. She then wishes my husband a happy birthday. I expect her to leave, but then my husband asks if she wants to join us. I look at my husband like, what the hell are you doing? I'm visibly uncomfortable and irritated. I stand up and tell Ava that she can have my seat, and then I walk out and get an Uber home because I want absolutely nothing to do with her. When my husband comes home almost 2 hours later, he immediately starts an argument with me. He tells me I overreacted and acted immaturely. I ask him why did he ask Ava to eat with us because I thought we were on the same page. He replies that was just being nice and that he didn't think it would be a big deal because it's been a long time since he has seen her, so she probably doesn't have feelings for him anymore. And then he tells me that I ruined his birthday. I'm still upset about it all. I don't think I'm the one in the wrong. I mean, this woman literally tried to steal my partner. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot. It's been 5 months, not 5 years. Your husband is delusional if he thinks she's genuinely gotten over him and his behavior was appropriate. Not the idiot. What a coincidence that Ava just happens to go to the same restaurant. I don't get your husband's logic here. He disinvited her to his wedding but offers her to sit down and have dinner when she wasn't invited. There's something off here. Not the idiot. You said it was a family dinner? If your husband didn't tip her off, one of his family members did. If Ava does come back into your lives, it must be on your terms as well as his. He doesn't get to unilaterally decide this one. I would remind your husband that this is a boundary you set, and he needs to understand that choosing you didn't end at the wedding. I, 32M, live in an apartment complex with a pool. There is no active lifeguard or anyone really monitoring it like most apartment pools. On Saturday, my boyfriend and I went to hang out at the pool around 2 p.m. We get there and it's packed. Like way too packed. I knew this couldn't all be residents. There were maybe 25-30 Hispanic people with beer, glass bottles of Modelo as well, double rule break, with the alcohol and glass, loud music, and they were also using both of the grills on the patio. After investigating further, it looked like one of the small families that I've seen around the complex was having a birthday party for their kid. Our complex technically has a rule that all non-residents must be checked in at the office to use the pool, but there's no way they enforce this, and nobody really pays attention to that rule. But a whole birthday party? The entire pool was filled with kids. It doesn't specifically say no parties, but it says to be respectful of others' spaces and not to hog items like the grills, hot tub, and umbrella tables. My BF and I tried to lay out in the corner, but it wasn't working. After another couple told us how displeased they were with this party too, my BF suggested we say something. We left and stopped by the front office and told them about the party. About an hour later, we started seeing all of them leaving the pool. It looked like the party was shut down. This morning we got a note on our door from the hosts of the party. I don't know how they knew it was us or what unit we lived in, but that's beside the point. The note called us idiots for what we did and now said they are under a lease review where the office could decide to evict them if they want. So they thanked us for potentially getting a poor, small family kicked out. I said we weren't the only ones who had a problem, and if we didn't do it, they would have eventually gotten caught. I also told them that whatever happens is their own fault for blatantly breaking the rules. Am I the idiot? You're the idiot. If not for what you did explicitly, then for the idiot racial overtones in your post. I don't see what the ethnicity of the party had to do with the situation at all, so I thought it was very weird that got a special mention. This is one of the gray areas. Legally you are all right. Morally? You had so many options. You could have talked to them. You didn't. Instead, you put in an official complaint. Housing is a nightmare right now, you have given them more to worry about. Why did you specify Hispanic? What does it have to do with this issue? You're the idiot. Not the idiot. If they don't want to risk a lease review and getting kicked out, then they need to honor the rules of the lease, which you said includes signing all guests in at the office. They broke the rules and inconvenienced other residents wishing to use facilities that they pay for. Their problem.